All right, tell them a couple things before we start, okay, right off the bat. You can't mention my first, third, or fifth ex-wife. Just don't bring them up, okay? If we can help that, that's great. And just letting you guys know, inviting me up into a hotel room, it's a little creepy. Let's be honest, it's a little creepy. So if I wake up tomorrow morning in that bathtub packed and ice, staring at stitches where my left kidney used to be, I guess I had it coming. First question. Lieutenant Dan Hennessey here. I've been a ring announcer at International Styles for about 20 years. I work for Duco Events, work for No Limit Boxing, DeBella Entertainment, do all the big shows on this side of the planet. I enjoy my work. I don't even consider it work, and I will never retire from this job. Born and raised in the Boston area and went to California after the Persian Gulf. I was in the United States Marine Corps in Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm from 91 to 93. I got out of there and went to California, became the Danal. Who's the Danal? He was a DJ, and he was DJing in some of the bigger clubs in Los Angeles in the 90s, and a fella stuck his head in my DJ booth, and he went, Danal, do you want to open up a rock club in New Zealand? Danal had a club in Auckland where he hung out with Pantera and just did some wild things there, and fella Dixon MacGyver, who run Kings of Oceania, kickboxing, came up to me and he went, hey, have you ever ring announced before? I said, yeah, I used to ring announce back in Los Angeles. You know, I didn't tell him it was for jelly wrestling. You know, come on, boys, make some noise for Portia, right? Didn't tell him that, and he looked at me and he went, well, you've got a distinct voice, and I want you to be my ring announcer. So it was a little part-time job 20 years ago. It just got bigger, and it got more serious, and then Duco Events came along in New Zealand, and then Joseph Parker with, David Tua's last 5 fights, and then Jeff Horn, and it just snowballed. I went down some rabbit holes on YouTube for days. I was looking at things where the ring announcer was smoking a cigarette and the speaker was coming down. It was the size of a hubcap, and he was like, he's got a hat on, and he's like, and this corner, and I mean, I watched it all, and I took a little piece of this guy and this guy and this guy, and it's all choreographed. Every step I take in that ring is, I know where to stand, what to say, where to go, and that's what I do. Some people don't, and it's glaringly obvious when you get a sports guy who thinks he can become a ring announcer in a day. It's an art form, and there's not a lot of us around. The card toss, yeah. It actually started out as a mistake. You see, I used to have a few jars before the shows because it was a part-time job. I didn't care too much about it, right? So I was doing an MMA show. I put my hands up like that, like I always did, and for some reason, the cards came out of my hands, right? A buddy of mine comes up to me. He goes, hey, good show, that was great. I go, yeah, thanks. And he goes, that card toss thing was pretty cool. The people around me really liked it. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, at the end, when you threw the cards up in the air. I said, that was a mistake, man. They kind of flew out of my fingers. And he went, oh, you should keep that, man. That's great. Say, like, the biggest fight in New Zealand at the time was when David Tua came back against Shane Cameron. Because it was just, we had it in Hamilton. One day, this place was a giant cowshed. And I'm looking around and going, whoa, what have we done? And then the next day, within 24 hours, it looked like Vegas. They had chandeliers, and they had, all the walls covered in cloth. It was just unbelievable. I think Duco at the time was one of the best boxing promotions on the planet. And for me, No Limit Boxing is like Australia's Duco. Everybody's got a spoke in the wheel. Everybody knows what they're doing. And I've been working for No Limit now for 3 years, and it's been a fantastic experience. What I enjoy most about the job is just, again, taking it back to my early days, I get seat 1A. I sit in the blue corner right there. I listen to the corner. If I'm not busy with my cards, I just soak everything in, and it's just such an atmosphere down there. It's one of a kind.